Hi guys! Today I'm filming a tag video and I was tagged by the lovely Charlotte over at Colours and Carousels. I will link her channel in the description box down below, but this is the Scottish tag. Now I did actually see this tag floating about a few months ago when Erin created it. Erin over at Beauty Creep created this tag and I'd meant to film it and it just seemed to go completely out of my head. So when Charlotte filmed it a couple of weeks ago and tagged me, I thought, right, have to get on this and get it filmed at some point soon. So there are 10 questions and I'm just going to get started with it. Question 1 is, where in Scotland are you from? I am from the Glasgow area. I'm from a town just kind of outside of Glasgow, but for the purposes of the internet I am from Glasgow. That's where I always say that I'm from, on my Twitter and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. I've grown up, lived in the same town just outside of Glasgow my whole entire life, and then went to Glasgow University and then went to Glasgow Caledonian University, so I feel like I am definitely a Glasgow girl at heart. Question 2 is, where is your favourite place that you have been to in Scotland? And this will come as no surprise to anybody who knows me or has read my blog or anything like that, but my favourite place in Scotland is Aviemore. In fact, my favourite place in the whole world is Aviemore. It is somewhere that I went on many childhood holidays with my parents and my brother. It's a lovely town up north. It's right up at the Cairngorms, so in amongst the beautiful mountain ranges and the amazing forests and everything, and it just makes my heart happy to be there. I was there a couple of weeks ago. My mum and I went up for a couple of days. We tend to just go up now. We used to go constantly, like we used to go a couple of times a year, the whole family. But as we kind of grew up and whatever, we stopped doing that. But my mum and I do try and still go for a couple of days every year, just for the sort of sake of nostalgia and the fact that it just is the loveliest place. So that's my favourite place in Scotland. Question 3, where would you like to visit in Scotland? So I'm assuming this is somewhere that you haven't already been, and I can't really think of anywhere in particular that I haven't already been in Scotland that I sort of desperately want to go to. But I haven't been to Skye since I think I was maybe about 12 or 13 probably would be the last time that I was in Skye, and I feel like I don't really now have like a solid proper memory of it, and so I'd love to go back there. I actually have family who live in Skye, and so there's really no excuse, so definitely want to go back there at some point. Question 4 is, what is your favourite Scottish film? Now, considering that I am a film and TV addict, I found this question quite difficult to answer, but after giving it some thought I decided to go for Local Hero. This is a film that my mum loves so very much, and as I was growing up she talked about it a lot and said how much she loved it and she really wanted me to see it, and I think I've seen it twice now. I can't think, it might actually only be once, but it could be twice. But it's really lovely. It was a film that was made in 1983, and it's the story of a man who works for an American oil company, and he comes over to Scotland where the company is planning to buy over an entire village and build a refinery there. And so this man arrives and he's very kind of disinterested to begin with, but as time goes on he kind of falls in love with the place and the people, and it's got a sort of like weirdly magical sort of vibe to it. So it's really lovely, and if you haven't seen it I do recommend checking it out. It stars a very young Peter Capaldi, who is now Doctor Who, so that's quite entertaining to see. He was probably, I don't know how old he would have been in that film, but very young, and it's a great film. Question 5, do you match up to any Scottish stereotypes? I really don't think that I do. I had a thought about this and I don't think that I do. I couldn't think of anything that I particularly match up to. Question 6, what is your favourite Scottish food? I laughed when Charlotte was going through her favourite Scottish foods and her version of this tag. I was like, these are all the same things I would go for, none of which are particularly healthy, but I would say probably top of my list, or what I eat most regularly that would probably be considered a Scottish food, would be square sausage, which is great. If you've never had a square sausage before, you should have one because they're great. Also, Charlotte mentioned tablet, which I will second because tablet's amazing. Question 7 is, do you follow any Scottish traditions? Again, I don't really think so. A lot of my family weddings have been Céilís, so I would say maybe in terms of that we probably do to an extent. My grandpa's from the islands and grew up speaking Gaelic and whatever, and so we do still have sort of Céilí weddings and that kind of thing, but other than that I don't really think, there's nothing that I can think of especially that sort of fits into my day-to-day life that I would see as being particularly tied to any Scottish traditions. Question 8, this is my favourite question of the tag because it is just something that I love to say. So it's, what is your favourite Scottish word? I gave this some thought because there are a lot of excellent ones, but my favourite Scottish word is dreich, and basically it's a word to describe weather, and there's literally no other word that you could use to describe. I can't think of anything in any other word like in the English language that could accurately match up to what dreich means. So it's just one of those days where it's really grey and probably raining and miserable looking, and you go outside and you just sort of go, oh, what a dreich day. And there's not really any other word that I can think of that really sort of matches up to that, like saying, oh, what a grey day, or what a horrible day, or those kind of things just don't mean the same thing as what a dreich day is. The minute that you say that, you just like conjure up this picture in your head of exactly what that type of day is like. So that is my favourite Scottish word. Question 9, what is your favourite Scottish song? I haven't really given this much thought, to be honest, and I don't know. I guess maybe, I think Charlotte said 500 Miles by the Proclaimers. Probably a good shout. It's such an amazing song and such a, I think, well-known Scottish song. So I would probably say that. Although I will at this point give a shout out to a band who just, it blows my mind every time I see them doing so well. But if you've not heard of the La Fontaines, they played like main stage at Tea in the Park this year, and they're doing amazingly well. One of them happens to be my neighbour, and the rest of them I've known through kind of school and that kind of stuff, and so yeah, they are doing very, very well. When I see them on TV and see their amazing music videos and all that, just seeing them do so well just is incredible. So go and check them out. I'll leave a link to their YouTube channel in the description box down below, and so go and have a look at them because they're great. And question 10 is, can you recommend any Scottish YouTubers? I certainly can. Most of them are exactly the same as who Charlotte recommended, so if you have found me through Charlotte's video or anything like that, then I'm going to be probably recommending the same people. But obviously, for one, Charlotte, then obviously Roisin, my friend Roisin from Rose Cates, who you'll have seen in my videos, Steph from Scottish Steph's Nails, Lynn from Linny85, Chantel from Girl in the Tartan Scarf, Erin from Beauty Creep, Rebecca from Rebecca Smile. I think that will do for now, but I hope that there are lots more Scottish YouTubers out there. If you know of any, do leave a link or, you know, tell me their name in the comment section down below. So that's it for the Scottish tag. That was quite fun. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you have done a version of this tag or anything like that, let me know in the comments down below. I really hope that you're having a lovely week. Thanks again to Charlotte for tagging me, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye. I actually Instagrammed a photo of this, so if you follow me on Instagram, I'm at LynseyMac1 on there as well. If you follow me there, you might have seen this already, but can we just talk about how stunning